The final episode of season 2 has aired, and I'm really disappointed with it. It had moments of excitement, but for the most part, it dragged on. There's a couple of other things to say about it as well.
It's dull, plodding, pedantic, much like yourself.
Okay, so the episode opens with the Cayuga, Captain Patel's ship, in orbit around a planet outside Federation space where they have set up a colony. You got that? They're outside Federation space, setting up a colony. Gee, can you guess what's about to happen here? In her log, Captain Patel acknowledges that the founders of the colony wanted to make it look like a small Midwestern ancient town, and which is nice and all, but you know what's going to happen in just a few moments. Chapel's along for the ride. Apparently, she's heading out a week early or a couple of days early to meet up with Dr. Corby, but in the meantime, she's helping to assist the planet with inoculating the children there. Pike and Patel have a brief little conversation when the communication is interrupted. It turns out everyone is having communication problems. No one can get a hold of the ship. At that moment, they notice a shuttle cruising out of control and crashing. At this moment, we start getting a reenactment of Independence Day. Patel is able to get an emergency signal out that the Gorn have invaded the planet. Starfleet and the Federation are willing to let the Enterprise go take a look to see what's going on, but under no circumstances is there a war to begin. No one wants a war inside the Federation with the Gorn. When the Enterprise dropped out of warp, they decided to go behind the moon, or skirt the moon anyway, to see what was going on, and they come to their horror to find that the Cayuga has been blown to bits. The Gorn have set up a device down on the planet that is preventing the Enterprise from being able to transport anyone, communicate with anyone, or even get any sensor signals. Not only that, but they sent off a signal to Starfleet, pretty much setting up a new boundary, a new borderline that's Gorn space. Well, Pike is not willing to sit back and wait for anything to happen. He wants to get people off that planet as soon as possible. So he's pretty much asking for volunteers, and they all respond, the ship's going to follow your command no matter what, because they do not like the Gorn. Now, Erica must be a big fan of The Empire Strikes Back, because she comes up with the idea of using a shuttle to blend in with the debris field and just float down to the planet. After floating through the debris field, Erica performs one of the most crazy maneuvers, flying the ship, actually speeding the shuttle to the surface of the planet, only within 1,500 feet of the surface, and then engaging the engines. This is where it starts to get slow. They start searching through the town. They can barely find anybody. City looks like some of it's in flames. They come across some baby Gorn, and the baby Gorn and the crew start playing a little game of Jurassic Park, fighting the raptors, is what this scene reminds me of. While they've been on the planet searching for everybody, the tricorders have told them there's life, there's humanoid life. And they keep searching and searching until finally they come across this device, which is what has been sending out the signals. And that device was created by Scotty, Lieutenant Scotty. He created a force field to trap what he thought would be Gorns, and what happened was he wound up catching Pike and crew. He leads them to Patel and the rest of the crew, only to find that they're pretty much trapped there, and that the Gorn have just been brutalizing the planet. Okay, so Pelia and Uhura have figured out that the object that is stopping all the communication, the transporters and the sensors from working on the planet, is a device that the Gorn must have brought with them. Interesting, considering they already figured that out a couple of minutes ago when they first arrived on the planet. Anyway, so the logical plan here is to use some massive debris, some large piece that could just look like it's just losing orbit and crashing to the planet. So they figure that they're going to use the saucer section from the Congo, and with some rockets and smash it into the planet at the right trajectory, slamming it into the Gorn device. Spock volunteers to do this because he can handle the situation a lot more than anyone else. Spock jetpacks over to the saucer section to place rockets on the ship. Meanwhile, inside the saucer section of the Kyoga, Chapel, who beamed up to the ship right before the attack and the invasion, has woken up and finding that her ship has pretty much been destroyed, and she notices Spock out the window placing the jetpacks on, or the rocket launchers onto the ship. Spock and Chapel have a brief moment together before the Gorn jumps in on him. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding sarcastic in all this, but I mean, there's just so much of this I can't help but think reminds me of several different movies. Right now, I have seen Jurassic Park, Independence Day, and now I'm looking at Aliens. Spock smashes the Gorn's helmet, allowing the oxygen to get out, and pretty much kicks the Gorn out into space. So Scotty apparently has a device on a shuttle that prevents the Gorn from detecting him. So Pike has come up with the idea that he's going to go back to Scotty's shuttle, take the device, and see if he can get as many people off the planet as possible. Scotty informs him that that's not going to work because it's built internally into the device. Basically, there's no way to get the device out of the shuttle so they can sneak people back to the ship and get off the surface. When they get to the shuttle, they find that a baby Gorn is in the ship. But just after it starts its attack, it notices Batel, takes a quick look at her, and then runs away. So apparently, once, about a day or so ago, she got infected and is now got eggs growing in her arm. And while Pike and Batel are arguing about whether or not she can sacrifice her life to save everybody, the saucer section of her ship comes crashing down, destroying the Gorn device that's blocking the signal. Pike and crew are beamed back aboard. Spock and Chapel are beamed back from their spacewalk. Chapel wants to put her into a stasis field, but Batel says, once they're inside of you, you can't stop them. I want you to take me out. Pike's not liking that answer, and Chapel just basically says, I'm not going to give up on her, so they're going to put her in a stasis field. Pike heads back to the bridge, orders the remaining humans on the planet to be beamed out, but they're already gone. The Gorn have beamed them aboard their ship, and now have launched a massive attack against the Enterprise with other Gorn ships warping in. The ship is being hit. Pike looks like he's got this severe panic attack on his hands, has no idea what to do, and this is how the episode ends. To be continued. And that basically is the episode final, the season finale for Strange New Worlds. I don't think I really left out anything that was majorly important in this plot of this story. I just feel like this episode could have been more. It started out on a good note and then went from exciting to real slow. I'd say about 35 to 40 minutes of this thing was incredibly slow. And as I said before also, it reminded me so much of scenes from Empire Strikes Back, Jurassic Park, Independence Day, Alien. And I apologize if I'm making all these references. This is just what I saw in this. I tried to come at this with an open mind and a clear perspective on what this could be, but as far as I'm concerned, this let me down. So, have you seen this episode yet? Tell me what you think about it. I really would like to know your thoughts, your comments on this one, my friends. And until the next time, God bless, my friends.